Welcome to Midlife Matters, where we celebrate women's wisdom and wit. I'm Georgian Lussier, your host, and I'm delighted to introduce today's guest, Roxanne Amiot, who is the department head of the Automotive Technology program at Bullard-Havens Technical School in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Welcome, Roxanne. You and your program have received national awards and certifications. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And yet some parents still think, not my kid, when it comes to learning a trade. Let's talk to the audience. What would you say about that, not my kid?
Nowadays it seems that parents and students are mixing up what the value of the education is, and their goal has become going to college, when really they're forgetting the goal is to become, productively employed members of society with a great career that they love and have a passion about. So what I say to them now is, what is your goal? Mm-hmm. When they say college, I go, no, what would you really like to be doing? And thinking about things other than college is important, because right now we have so many openings in skilled trades and we cannot fill them. And they're actually excellent pay, and we really need skilled tradespeople right now.
And there's also an opportunity to mix it with college.
Oh, definitely. We actually have an articulation with Gateway Community College in North Haven and New Haven. They have an automotive associate's degree program, and they work with General Motors and Honda and Subaru. And what happens is our students actually earn up to 15 credits in our automotive certified program, and they can transfer them to Gateway for an automotive associate's degree while they're working in industry too, and they use that as their internship credit. So it's really a great partnership, and both, yes, can work well together, especially in our industry.
Certainly, as someone progresses in their career, some of the study skills, et cetera, that you have to perfect, taking a rigorous course in college or whatever, helps prepare you to take on responsibilities down the road. When you think about what do you want to be, well, it's not just the next 5 years, it's maybe 40 years.
Yes,
right.
Yes, definitely. I had a former student who did not follow automotive, but he stopped me a few months ago. He's the manager, the night manager in a big store chain. And he stopped me and said that the skills I learned as being the shop foreman, because we have a shop foreman who's in charge of the other technician students. And he goes, the skills I learned there, he goes, they actually helped me succeed here in this management position at night. Those are transferable skills I didn't even think of.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be that you determine your next 40 years while you're in high school.
Yes.
You've actually helped a number of programs within Connecticut get accredited. Am I correct?
Yeah. Several years back, I had an internship then and a sabbatical where I helped 18 of our Connecticut technical high schools, the automotive programs, receive the ASE NATAF accreditation. It's quite a process. If you're familiar with schools, secondary schools and colleges, it's like the NEASC accreditation. They go through the entire program. That means we meet nationwide standards for the automotive technician training program. So it's really important that we do that, and we show our industry and businesses that we are doing what they need us to do to train technicians.
And the automotive trade requires, obviously, mechanical competencies, and then the 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic, right? Blueprint reading, vocabulary, science. Obviously, technology is becoming more and more a part of everyone's life. Safety and customer service skills.
Yes.
Let's say a parent has someone in middle school. How would they know if that person possesses those mechanical aptitudes?
You have to have a desire, first of all, to want to do something like automotive. I know the students that like to solve problems, that love to work with puzzles and figure things out, do really well. But in our field, you do have to be able to follow steps and procedures, which people don't realize. Because now with all the technology, we actually have to follow computerized steps and procedures to do diagnosis. So problem-solving skills, they do need the math and science because we do a lot of measuring, testing, and getting data. So all that's important, so they can look for those things.
And you have a live, licensed repair facility.
Yes, we do.
And you just talked about the gentleman that you bumped into, who it sounds like he was the shop foreman within that setting?
Yes,
Yeah,
in
when
school.
he was in school.
Yes.
Tell us how that works in terms of providing that service and then also helping your students get that automotive service certification that they work.
We are a licensed repair facility in the state of Connecticut. The difference is we're a school, so everything that is brought in is used to teach the students. So people expecting to wait for their vehicles or I need it tomorrow, it's probably not a good idea for them. But all of our 17 schools do take in vehicles. They have to be registered, insured, and they have to meet curriculum needs. And the students actually do the work with an instructor like myself in supervision. So we make sure everything's followed. The state does charge $20 per hour, but we go by a flat rate book, which is a flat time, no matter if it takes us 3 days. If the job's a 1 hour job, you pay the 1 hour. The kids really like the idea of live work or production work, as we call it, and we use it as it fits in our schedule to teach the different competencies.
About how many vehicles can you have in your shop at one time?
Even though we have 8 lifts and we have like 2 other live bays, I usually don't have them take more than 2 to 3 cars maximum at a time because the amount of time and focus we must put on them. And at the same time, they have to do our national ASE task sheet competencies, so I have to rotate them through live work, but also problems and skills they have to build on our donated cars, so they have to do that at the same time. So it's kind of like juggling it that they get both.
I understand there's 8 areas of the automotive service technician certification that these students work towards during their 4 years. Could you talk to those?
Yes. ASE, Automotive Service Excellence, is a national program for all technicians. Our program is accredited that we actually teach the 8 areas, which are from engine repair, manual transmission, automatic transmission, electrical performance, all 8. But the idea is the students have a curriculum that's based on it, where we learn all these competencies, they practice the actual task, and then their senior year they take the high school ASE exam in at least 4 of the areas, but we are AST, which is a middle certification or accreditation, so they usually have to be competent in all 8 areas.
In addition to the, physical work of doing the repairs, some of the skills that are required include time management,
Yes.
customer service.
We work with employers that directly hire our students for work-based learning before they even graduate. And the employers and industry pretty much ask to be work-ready, which means they have to be aware of time because things in the work area are time-sensitive, not like necessarily in the school. They have to have that ability to learn or want to learn, the desire to learn. They have to be able to be taught. They need to be able to communicate, speak well, understand, listen. It's part of our diagnostic skills. So they need the whole package. Parents, our employers want that more so than actually the hands-on skills. So it's interesting that that's what they want a lot of the time. The parents, when they came in, was very important for hiring an automotive technician.
They're interacting with the customer. You're trying to build the confidence, right? That
Definitely.
You've got it all together here. You really stress safety in your program.
I have 5 core classroom rooms for
Okay.
classroom order. We do have a longer list of safety rules, but the core 5 rules do assist with organized environment for safety. The students need to listen the first time to instructions, and I also tell them if you don't understand them, you need to ask again. But don't interrupt the instructions so we know what we're doing. 2 is stay where you're supposed to in your area. Don't wander into an accident or trouble, your assigned area. It's not your ordinary classroom. It's very easy to get hurt if you're not paying attention. And of course, we respect each other and follow like no jewelry and tie back your hair and things of that sort, safety glasses on. We enforce that.
Do they have to wear safety shoes in the automotive?
Yes, they do have to wear, they could be shoes or boots, and they don't have to be steel-toed necessarily, but they do have to be a hard leather safety shoe, yes.
Okay. And I read somewhere that these students, the cost of tools is roughly $300 to $400 over the course of their time with you?
Yes, and that would depend on where they are buying their tools from. That's the student's option. If you spend more, you may have a better quality tool, but you have to get what you afford, and as you go through the trade and start working in it, then you can build whatever box you'd like. But yes, the core toolbox, just like all our trades, you need to put a couple to a few hundred into it over time. So you have over the 4 years to combine it.
And speaking of tools, Harbor Freight Tools for Schools,
Yes.
right? It's an award that's in its third year.
Yes.
I learned about you because I saw that you were nominated on a national level, a runner-up for your teaching excellence. Tell us a little bit about that award and what that experience has been like for you.
The Harbor Freight Tools for Schools was amazing. Two of my former students kind of said, one was working at a store, Harbor Freight, and one's a technician, and they said, Miss A, you should think about doing this, and one of my current students nominated me. So it was quite a rigorous application at the time online. There were a lot of questions and information provided. They really went through our programs. And I got to the second round, and when I got to the last round, we had to do more. And then they picked the top 10, and pretty much, we were second place winners.
Wonderful.
We were winners. But it was wonderful because we are in a school that the funding isn't wonderful, and they provided funding so we added a lot of tools and equipment that we were sure we didn't have. So it was wonderful. And the recognition of a small little program like ours, in our state of Connecticut, which doesn't necessarily get recognized for our great technical programs, wound up getting recognized on the national level. So that was wonderful, it really was.
And you have a trip coming up regarding that award.
Harbor Freight supports a Let's Build It program. This is all new to them. They started, the first year was when I won, but they want to support and build skilled trades throughout the nation. They want to provide resources and help skilled trades training. And they get us together, the former winners and runners-up, and they bring us to California, to Calabasas, and UCLA area, and we put together and we do some brainstorming on what would help skilled trade teachers and the skilled trades to get more technicians and people in. This will be my second year doing it, and hopefully we can get some more resources going for all skilled trade teachers.
So the tools that they offer are for many of the trades.
Yes. All skilled trades for construction, for manufacturing, automotive, the many trades. So.
Okay. You have so many Teacher of the Year awards, and then Bullard-Havens became a School of the Year. Right?
Yes, after the Harbor Freight Tomorrow's Technician magazine, Babcock's does magazine. The publication comes out to all our technical high schools and colleges, and it was an award for actually, colleges that had automotive programs as well as high schools, so we were in competition against both. We made the last rounds. We had to do a video about what we do in our trade, in our school. They went through everything. Still even can't believe it. They determined we were the Automotive Program of the Year, and that's a national award. It was great, and again, it wound up being a donation so we can get tools and equipment for our shop. They flew me out to Las Vegas to get an award. It's just been awesome. The past couple of years have been, a big award, and finally noticing our program. Yes. Our programs have been around our school system for over 100 years. It's nice to get our programs recognized after all this time.
And then you also have Women Drive events.
Yes. Drive program is for any women, high school females from a couple different schools in New Haven area, and adults that would come through, and it's a free program, and our high school females help during the day, and they ran stations so you can learn how to change your tire, you can learn how to jumpstart your battery, you can learn how to check your fluids, so there are all many stations that sometimes women aren't familiar with or are afraid to ask. So the high school students, our high school students, help the high school students during the day. And at night, we had another women's drive event where at night, the female adults came in, and the adult females that are at Gateway and myself and some out in industry came to do the same situation to help them out, to feel more comfortable with their car and safe. And even AAA had helped too. That was nice. They brought a battery truck in and showed them how to jump. It was really a neat program. And we plan to do it again in the fall, though no date's been set. But it's really neat. You want to feel comfortable in your car. Right. And a lot of times women are afraid to ask or, so, this is something hopefully that helps them.
So that is a fascinating idea to help everyday women get more familiar with something they use generally every day, which is their car,
Yes.
and to feel more confident.
And the kids love doing it. Like, they love sharing what they know.
Sure.
So it's
really
neat.
puts
Oh,
the
it's-
spotlight on them.
It's
and
wonderful, yeah.
all kinds of skills involved with
Yes.
teaching someone else, right?
Yes.
Transferring skills.
Yeah. They responded really well to it.
That's
so.
great.
Mm-hmm.
I also understand that you work with your students when they are looking at college, like actually taking them to the campus sometimes, identifying mentors, maybe people who have graduated already and are out there working,
Yes,
resume building,
definitely, yes.
right? Interview skills.
Yes, we've done all of those. Junior achievement is great. They will send somebody in for our 11th grade students to help build their resumes and give them help them with interviewing skills and business skills. So that's a great program. In April, we do a day of interviews with our automotive employers in the area, and we always get a great response. And usually those, even though it's practice, it's not always, those lead to job shadowing and employment. In fact, out of our recent one, I believe we have 3 students that have become employed.
Nice.
So we've got 12 students this year, seniors and juniors, that are working in the field or will be working this summer, which is really neat because that's what we're about. The students can actually be working in their trade before they even graduate, so they have their foot in the door. We teach them how to network and just I take them around because the more I take them around, the more opportunities they see, and they can see what they want to take advantage of or grab that opportunity.
Some high schools are doing signing days where they actually celebrate that someone is signing on to be an employee and the employer is there.
We have tons of signing days. We've just never put them together on film.
Okay.
Because we actually, students are getting hired all the time. And Gateway, though, the automotive program, we've actually had a record number of students sign up. And so I have a picture of that day, even though we didn't have pens in our hands, where 9 of them are holding their course guide in their hand, and they're going to be further do their automotive studies, but they also have to have their automotive employment as their internship. So a lot of them are hired already, and they're going to be doing both. So we have been signing for years. We just haven't been putting it in that format, but we might do that. Yeah, we might do that.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about you. Your early goals included far-reaching plans, including psychology and fashion design.
Yes.
So tell us about how you ended up in the automotive field.
Well, when I went to Bullard-Havens, which is the technical school I teach at now, I went there as it was a safe high school. I lived in Bridgeport, and it was a safe high school. But when I went there, I had always been interested. I always sewed and did crafts, so I wanted to do the fashion design program there. But our school still has, to this day, an exploratory program where before you get into your permanent shop, you have to try the other ones. So they made me try auto, and I remember to this day saying that it smelled, and I didn't want to be there. But lo and behold, I tried it, and I actually liked it. I liked the movement. I liked learning something I didn't know. I liked doing something that I didn't think I can do. And my parents said, well, you can take it as long as you get your good grades. We don't really care. We want your good grades to go to college. So just like everybody's saying. But when I went, so I took it, I did well, I learned a lot, but I was going to go away to school for psychology. I was going to go to SUNY, I was all set, and parents informed me the finances aren't there, we could send you maybe for a semester. I went back to my teacher, I asked if he could help me out a little bit, getting a job, he did. And I worked at my first dealership, and I went to college, local community college at night, and I did that for many years. And then my former teacher became department head, and they had a part-time job and said, well, why don't you come in? So I worked dealership and part-time job for about a year. Position came up, I started teaching, and that's 30 years ago. So I did change where I was going, but at the same time, I'm happy with what I did, and I think that was the path, though I never saw it. It's just funny how your life turns. Because I would have never, I tell the kids now, I would never thought I was doing this for a living when I was in your seat, so you never know.
You never know.
So.
And how did the educational credentials for you as a teacher work? I know that's been in flux as to, it's Central, I believe, right, that had the program?
Yes, well, all teachers, all trade teachers, when they come in, there's certain courses you have to get in technical education training, and we actually take them through Central Connecticut State University. I had college credits already, so I had looked in, they had a program for a bachelor's degree in vocational technical education at the time when I was there, and I took advantage of it, and I pulled my credits together, and I got my transcripts from ASE, because I had taken the testing and the training, and pulled them together, and they had a program where you could do that, and I have a vocational technical education bachelor's degree now. All of us have to take college courses, but unfortunately right now they don't offer that degree anymore, and I'm hoping they will reconsider it for technical and skilled trade teachers.
Well, that's
So,
an important part. If we're going to
Yes.
grow the trades as a society, we
Definitely.
need the credentials with the teachers. Yeah.
I'm trying to work on that now, so
Okay. Good
we'll
luck.
see.
And anything next for you and your automotive program?
We're going to keep going and keep improving and working a lot more. I mean, we do work with employers, but we always put more effort into what industry wants and what our employers want. Basically, we're going to do what we have been doing, but always try to improve it and add more technology into it. Yeah.
Continuous improvement
Yes,
cycle,
always.
right?
You have to.
You
yes.
have to. Looking back, as we've talked a little bit about your journey to this point, what advice would you give your younger self, say at 25 and more like 40?
Always take advantage of opportunities. They may not come again.
Yeah.
And, continue to always work hard because you never know what's going to come of it. That's what I think.
Great. And do you have a favorite quote?
On the
Or
front of our
saying,
building, the
yeah.
front of our building at Bullard-Havens, it says, "He who hath a trade hath an estate." And I believe that was from Benjamin Franklin. But I think that's great because if you do have a trade and you do have a skill and you have that attitude and drive, you're going to have a job. If something happened right now where my school had to let me go, I'm sure I'd be able to find a job the next day that's not being like full of myself. It's just that I have a marketable skill that people need and I should be able to get employed. So he who hath a trade does have an estate.
That's wonderful. So good luck with everything, and thank you so much for being a guest.
Thank you very much for having me.
And please tune in to hear other fascinating women on future segments of Midlife Matters. I'm Georgian Lussier, your host, and thank you for joining us.